What up? Today we making an easy peasy goulash. And this was actually my first time having it. Never had goulash before. So this was new for me. Now I'll say about 2.5 pounds of ground beef. And this was mainly because I was cooking for a large group of people or whatever. So you don't have to use that much. Like if you want to just use a pound or something. I basically use like a family pack. A family pack and a half. This enough. I just wanted to make sure I had enough meat. But I got the tendency of overdoing things. That's why I say you don't have to use that much meat. Because I'm also adding smoked sausage. Which we're going to get into. I'm adding this one, the Cajun style smoked sausage. And the Andouille smoked sausage. Okay? Flavor. Like I said, I never had it before. But I just wanted to tweak it. I always like to do my own thing when it comes to recipes. You see the meat, it's getting brown, getting right. So we're going to add our veggies in. I'm doing a yellow onion, a yellow pepper, and a green pepper. If I'm using like a green or a red pepper, since they kind of the same, I like to use like, if I'm using a green, I have to use a yellow or orange. And if I'm using a red, you know, vice versa. Same thing. Okay. I mean, I like using red pepper and green pepper together too. But ever since somebody told me it was this, like basically the same thing, which it makes sense when you see how it grows. Long as I got my peppers, I'm cool, because the flavor it's unmatched. It is. So at this point, like I said, I need that ground beef, masher. I forgot. I don't think it's just specifically called ground beef masher. I think it's like a universal masher or something like that. Because I just seen it the other day and I forgot where I seen it, and it's. I'm gonna get one, but that's what I'm doing with the spoon right now though. I'm mashing it up because you don't want a whole bunch of chunks of meat, like chunked up ground beef in your food. I don't, at least. Like this is almost giving me spaghetti vibes, and I don't like chunky spaghetti. So mash it up as much as you can. If you got the masher tool, more power to you. That's what's up. That's great. I don't, so I'm using my spoon and doing it the old-fashioned way, and just breaking them chunks up. Just break them up. It's ground beef, so it needs to be ground. It needs to be not chunked up, okay? I'm just doing that. I haven't did nothing else to it yet. I ain't seasoned it yet. I ain't did nothing like that. We finna get into the seasonings right now, though, okay? I'm gonna have them at the bottom. But I'm using some Italian seasoning. I'm using some pepper, black pepper. I use some onion powder. I use some Cajun seasoning, and I use some oregano. Okay. And for the most part, I'm reusing these. I will be reusing the seasonings. The only thing I did add, like when I mixed everything together, when you add the noodle and all that, I did add like some seasons, just a little bit of seasoned salt. Seasoned salt or adobo. If you got either one will do, because I prefer adobo. Adobo with the pepper, specifically. Adobo con pimiento. Yeah. If you know, you know. I go to the Mexican store to find that. So, I, just season it up, mixing it up. We on a medium heat, not too high, because you don't want to burn your meat, okay? So now, I had to add it to another pan, because I knew it was going to get it was filling the pan up too big, All that I have to add, I needed more space. And all I got is this big old pot. So I went ahead and transferred that to this pot. I didn't add no liquid or nothing. The meat already adds liquid. Then I added a full thing of this Hunt's tomato sauce. What size is it? That is the size. 33.5 ounces. I added that whole thing in. And then I added a big jar of diced tomatoes. Like the big jar. A bigger jar. Not the regular size. The big jar. Or as many as you want. If you like tomatoes, add them up. You can add 2 if you want. You can add 2 big old things if you want. You can add 1. It's up to you. But just as long as you got the tomatoes in there. That seems to be important when it comes to the goulash. Because I had to do my research before I made it, of course. Then the beef broth, I did the whole thing also. Because I didn't want nothing to dry out. And since we still got to add noodles, I just wanted to make sure I had enough liquid for when I add the noodles. Okay? Gonna mix it up. Taste it. At this point is when you just kind of mixing up, you're stirring and you seasoning, re-seasoning, adding stuff. Like, it's all about your taste buds at this point. Like, if you need to add some, add it. I added in some red pepper flakes and some minced garlic. And like I said, I reused the seasonings I already put on the meat because I didn't want to overdo it, and I wanted to keep, I didn't want to have too much going on. You know what I'm saying? So then I added in my smoked sausage, and we doing 3 bay leaves. 3. There they go. Boom. Cover that thing. Like I said, about a medium. We letting it boil. We letting it simmer. Then I added in some Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire, I don't know how to say it. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That ain't important. Then this is a 2-pound box of elbow noodles. 2 pounds. That's why I said I wanted to have enough noodles. Okay? You got to have enough liquid so your noodles are able to boil, because it's going to cook. Everything's going to cook together at this point. You know what I'm saying? That's why you adding the liquid with the meat, with all that, because it has to cook. Them noodles ain't done yet. You got to let them things boil. Okay? So that's what we about to do. I'm steady trying to get footage while there's heat, because it's... Okay. So this is some regular cheddar cheese. Like sharp cheddar cheese. Because you need your cheese too. Add that in once the noodles are cooked, though. Don't add that in when the noodles still cooking. When it's thickened up like this is when you need to be adding that cheese. Okay? Right here. Trying to get some footage. And that smoke was no joke. That rhymed too. It wasn't no joke, though. It really wasn't. You see this deliciousness? The little bit that you could see through the smoke? I did that. You're going to be able to see a better view. It's looking good even through the smoke. You see it. At this point, I turned it on a low. Like, once it thickened up, you can really turn the heat off, actually. But, it still has to kind of cool itself down after a while. But this is thickened up. This is the finished, not the finished product, but it's done. This is the done product. This is the point where if you need to add anything, just go ahead and do that. More cheese, more seasoning, whatever you got to do. Make sure you like it, okay? Make sure you're tasting it. Make sure you like it. Because if you don't like it, you don't need to be serving it. So I've been making lunches. Like I said, for the past few Fridays, I've been making my coworkers lunches. I got the recipe for this already on here. It's my chicken sausage rice skillet. That recipe is on here already, but it was 2 options that they had. They had the goulash or they had this rice skillet. Some people got this, some people got that. Either way, both of them was good. This was really good, and goulash is fire. It was definitely giving me spaghetti lasagna vibe. That's why I wanted to stick with like the Italians and the Oreganos, but definitely fire.